Okay. Awesome. So you guys can definitely see that, yeah?
Yep.
Brilliant. Okay, so yeah, thank you to everyone who's joined tonight and everyone who's watching in their own time. So my name is Ed and I'm the founder of Trail Pursuit, and today we're going to be talking through the Trail Pursuit's adventure in Croatia. And yeah, really excited for this one. It is an absolutely amazing place and the trip we've put together. So yeah, we're going to have a bit of a deep dive into the itinerary and things like that. And then a chance for you guys to ask any questions that you might have. So yeah, let's kick off. So some of you might have just learned about Trail Pursuit recently. Some of you, like Steve, who are on the call, raced with us in the Lake District in May. But basically, it's a fairly new company. So we launched in July 2020. And it was really born out of a passion for the outdoors, adventure, and kind of innovation and bringing people together to enjoy the outdoors. And we create trail race festivals, run clubs, and adventures, retreats and expeditions in the UK and beyond. This shot here is from one of our, well, the first event we did in the Lake District. And yeah, from there, we've kind of developed our mission and values and things like that. And really, yeah, it's to create a unique trail running race experiences for all levels of runner. And from there, our values have kind of developed as well. And the community is definitely at our core. You know, the friendships and kind of supportive network that we've grown is really awesome. Adventure is definitely a value there. You know, it's what we all love. I'm sure you guys do as well. The kind of the challenge of it, the mental and physical elements that come with it, and kind of just the learnings along the way. And this shot here was in Norway back in June this year with a really good group. And then yeah, equality, you know, we make it as inclusive and accessible for lots of different people of all different backgrounds, male, female, different ethnic backgrounds, and yeah, we're not elitist in that sense, and it is a very kind of welcoming environment that we're trying to create. And yeah, talking of environment, the places that we explore and are lucky and privileged enough to explore, we do try and take good care of those, obviously with our races, but then also the expeditions and kind of learning about the trails and how to look after them and ensuring we don't leave any waste. And lastly, yeah, we try and make it family friendly, especially this probably leans more to the actual races and race festivals, where we have, you know, kids 1 mile, where a lot of those guys get their first kind of medal, which is quite cool. Some of the parents run with the kids. So yeah, moving on to Croatia for 2023. And yeah, the sort of core of this is really to explore the Croatian wilderness. That's how we've kind of built the trip and the different experiences within it. We're trying to show you the very best of Croatia, you know, over an 8-day period. And this photo behind the back here is Skredinsky Book waterfall, which we'll see. And yeah, an incredible national park. So yeah, just moving on. So why Croatia? Really, we wanted to kind of find somewhere which had a great balance of like coastal spots along with kind of wild and remote trails more inland, and the nature parks and national parks, which I'll talk about throughout this presentation, are absolutely amazing. And we kind of wanted to create a multi-sport trip where you could also explore lots of these different places on different modes, so trail running, kayaking, pack rafting, and cycling and things like that. And the varied terrain and landscape really lends itself to that. And yeah, journey off the beaten track, you know, going to a few remote spots, which, you know, might not be as common and a little bit out the way, to show you guys the beauty of the country. And this photo here on the right is in Zadar, and it's kind of famous for its sunsets along the promenade, which we'll also visit. And yeah, the dates for 2023. So we've got the 6th of May to the 13th of May and the 16th to the 23rd of September. Cool. So yeah, moving on to the itinerary. And yeah, there is so much to kind of share. So I haven't put it all in here, but it gives you a nice, hopefully it will give you a nice little insight into what we're going to be getting up to. So day one is, yeah, definitely the arrival day. And you can fly into either Split or Zadar Airport. Split's about 2 hours from our first base, and Zadar is 45 minutes. And yeah, in terms of flights, airlines like Ryanair or Jet2.com have fairly frequent and affordable flights to Croatia. And yeah, so Saturday's kind of the arrival day. You have a bit of free time to kind of relax, explore, and you'll meet the other guests and things like that. And yeah, you won't have a specific time to kind of meet, so you will have flexibility to arrive any time up to about 4 p.m. So we just ask that you can arrive before 4 p.m. and then you'll be met at the airport and kind of transported to the Velebit Nature Park where the campsite is. And yeah, in the evening there'll be a welcome dinner and drinks with the guide and the team. And you'll, yeah, like we've just learned on the call from who's joining, we've got people from Aberdeen, Bournemouth, and Leeds and things like that. So it really does draw people from all over, especially on our Norway trips as well. We found that we had a lot of UK guys. We've got a couple from Ireland, and we had a we had a son and mum team from South Africa who joined, which was quite cool. So yeah, day one is definitely arrival day, and there'll obviously be a briefing in the evening. And then we go on to day two, where the main focus for this day will be the trail run along the Zrmanja River, which is absolutely beautiful. The terrain is super mixed. You can see here there's Varna and Edis, who this was on our recce that we did back in early September. This is more of a kind of rocky surface, I guess, but there is a real mix of green grass and rocky trails, and also sort of hard packed forest trails. And yeah, in May it will be a lot greener and the vegetation will be a lot brighter if you go for the May one. And yeah, this will be a social run, so it's by no means a race, and we'll kind of take it at a steady pace. The distance will be about 12k, and yeah, there'll be frequent stops for drinking and photos and catching your breath and things like that. And then we'll head back to the base, have some lunch, and then we'll basically head to Zadar, where the sunset is that I mentioned in a couple of previous slides. And the architecture in Zadar is absolutely insane as well. And they have this area along the promenade called the Sea Organ, and it's great. The waves basically create music from it, and people hang out there, and it's quite a cool feature. So that is day two. And then yeah, we're leading on to day three. So this is accessible from the campsite area. It'll be pack rafting along the Zrmanja River. So don't worry if you don't know what pack rafting is or you haven't done it before. It's kind of niche, but they're basically inflatable mini kayaks, which are really, really good fun. You don't have to have previous experience with them, and you'll have a proper briefing. You'll get all your kit and things beforehand. I've missed that actually. Yeah, you will have there's optional yoga in the morning as well. So Varna, who's our kind of partner and will be the lead guide, she's also a yoga teacher. Excuse me. So you have the option for that on day three, and then yeah, there's the pack rafting, and it's beautiful. It's quite calm at the beginning, and then it gradually picks up, and then we have sort of a picnic. lunch stop, and you can do some swimming. You can jump off the waterfalls as well, which is quite awesome. And then yeah, the rapids definitely pick up. Excuse me. And yeah, you get to kind of experience the terrain and the clear waters, and you're really in the environment, which is quite special. And then afterwards we'll walk to the canyon of Zrmanja River, and it kind of hex up, and you can get incredible bird's eye views of where you've just excuse me, where you've just paddled. And this is about 11k in distance. And this will be the final evening of camping at the site. And then that will lead on to day 4, which is where we go to Packraft National Park. And this, excuse me, I'm going to take some water. Yeah, this Packraft National Park is, yeah, again, it's quite beautiful. This photo you can see here was taken at the homestay, which is set up in the hills, which is really beautiful, and that's their view from their terrace. And yeah, so we'll arrive here. It's also quite a popular climbing hotspot, so you'll see lots of climbers, especially around the start area. And we will trek up through the park. It's all quite manageable. It's not you know, super steep or anything like that. There's a few steady inclines and declines. And yeah, there's natural rock pools along the way where we can cool off, and also the famous Manita cave that you can go in, and it's, yeah, it's pretty magical. And they'll, you know, they talk to you all about the rock formation and how long it's been there and things like that. And for this day, we're basically heading to the homestay, which is set up in the hill. Oh, my throat. Excuse me. And yeah, we'll be greeted with a shot of local snaps, which is a spirit if you fancy it. And from here, you'll have free time to explore the abandoned village, which is actually set back slightly further. It's quite interesting, actually, and you can see how people used to live, and the remains of this small village along and around the cliff face, which is quite special. So day 5, yeah, is primarily the trail run. So we'll have a kind of an 8k trail run around Packraft National Park. Oh, we've got a chat.
It's just me, Ed, saying that I love the abandoned places.
Yeah, awesome. And yeah, day 5, Packraft National Park. So yeah, we'll have the trail run, which is guided, and then we'll kind of lead down back to the base of the park, and from here we can go into Zlarin town, and there's a beach, and we can chill out, and yeah, we're kind of back down in the mainland. And from here, the next 3 nights we're staying in a hotel, which is quite cool. So it goes from do apologize. It goes from camping for 3 nights to the homestay, to then the hotel for 3 nights. And yeah, you have free time to paddleboard, and you can explore Zrmanja and things like that. And we'll have some dinner. And that leads us on to day 6. So this is the sea kayaking day, which is also really beautiful. And we've kind of mixed it, so you're you might be yeah, trail running, hiking, swimming, and it's kind of mixed, so your body isn't, you know, always being used on the same way. And yeah, this is a really beautiful spot to Zlarin Island. It's around 16k and 3 to 4 hours of paddling, with a few stops for lunch and going into the different bays and things like that. Oh. I'm just gonna catch my breath, one sec. Okay, we're back. So yeah, day 7 is the mountain biking to Kirka National Park. Again, these bikes are really, really good. Good quality, and we'll head to Lake Visavac, which is a small boat onto a monastery. And I do have a picture of that here. Wow, excuse me. Oh, terrible throw. We will give it another go. Otherwise I might actually move. Okay. So yeah, day 7 is the mountain bike day. And we basically head over to the monastery, which is here. And it's quite a it's quite a special monastery, which is on an islet, and we cycle there. And yeah, there's a day where we meet the monks, and we look around the gardens of the monastery. It's a really, really beautiful spot. And yeah, from there we'll have some lunch, and in the afternoon we will head to Kirka National Park, where Skrydinsky waterfall is, and head back for a farewell drink and dinner in Skrydin. Sorry about the throat. And then yeah, day 8 is goodbyes, and you will have met some awesome new people, some new friends, and there'll be transfers back to Zadar and Split Airport. And if you're not pressed for time, you can hang around and paddleboard or take in more of Skrydin's sites, or hang out on the beach. And this photo on the right is the waterfall, Skrydinsky Book waterfall, and this is just one of many, and you can walk all around this, and it is really, really beautiful. Does anyone have any questions there? And sorry about the throat.
Is the monastery still like open?
The monastery is still open, yeah, and it's kept by monks, and they live on there.
So it sounds a bit like Holy Island in my area, but obviously Holy Island doesn't have any monks on anymore.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's quite a beautiful spot. It's a small area. It doesn't take long to get to, and yeah, we'll have a short tour around there. And then yeah, just moving on to more kind of practical things. In terms of kit lists for a trip like this. So yeah, good waterproof jacket is always key for any downpours. Lightweight performance tee and shorts is important. Yeah, typical clothing, swimsuit, lightweight trainers, flip-flops, 20-litre day pack will be absolutely fine. The only thing that you do need to bring is sort of a sleeping bag as well. All the other equipment for camping and all the kayak equipment, life jackets and things like that is provided. But yeah, you do need to bring a sleeping bag. quick dry towel is also really, really useful. Any questions on the kit list? Nope. Okay.
This is going to sound really stupid, but are we supposed to carry our whole kit?
No, so it'll be transferred for us.
Okay.
We won't need to carry it.
It's a good question, isn't it? It's a good question. Cash, because Croatia is really expensive. How much? What availability have we got to spend in cash? Because it seems to be quite out in the wilderness.
Yeah, so it's so they're actually moving to the euro in January, and there's 7 breakfasts and 7 dinners which are included. Excuse me. So it's just money for lunches that you'd need. And even though it is out in the wilderness, we have got the kind of support vehicles that will be moving the team around.
So there will be like options to say like, oh, can stop off here and then
yes,
yeah, type of thing for extra needed stuff.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, 100%.
Excellent.
Awesome. So yeah, just moving on to accommodation and the 3 types. We've got the campsite in the Velebit Nature Park for the first 3 nights. And then the mountain lodge, they've actually redone and had an extension on part of it. So it's quite high quality for a mountain lodge. I've stayed in a lot more basic. But yeah, so that's the kind of mountain lodge that we'll be in. And then this photo on the right is Zrmanja. And this is down, well, you can see the harbour in the distance, and the hotel is within there, and it's just a really nice kind of scenic spot. So who will be the guides and leading the trip? So the qualified mountain leaders is Varna, and this is Ed also, who helps with some of the logistics on the ground. And yeah, they just to kind of show that they have the necessary kind of first aid and safety management and relevant driving qualifications like that. So Varna she's lovely, and she's also really sporty and loves trail running and yoga, and just a really, really friendly, knowledgeable person who'll lead the trip. So yeah, just moving on to food and the different types that we've got. So we can accommodate for all dietary types, and when you do book, you're able to put if you do have any specific requirements or anything you can or can't eat, or any tolerances or anything like that. The menu is it's varied and it's fresh. There's plenty of food to go around. Excuse me. And we will also have a traditional meal, a pekka, which you can see this photo just down on the bottom. It's a way that they cook their food by placing the coal on the top, and the vegetables or the meats within that, and it kind of cooks from the outside in, if that makes sense. And yeah, so there's 7 breakfasts and 7 dinners included, and bring some euros for lunch each day, and also for any alcoholic drinks if you'd like those as well. Any questions on food? Pretty straightforward. Yeah, so just to whiz through some FAQs and things to be mindful of before booking a trip like this. So we often get asked, like, how fit do I need to be? And it definitely helps to arrive in good shape and to feel good and to feel confident. But all the activities are suitable for beginners. It would potentially help if you wanted to do, well, if you try the kayaking but you're a bit nervous, and you could do it as a complete beginner. But if you wanted to build confidence, we'd recommend maybe you could taste a taster kayak day, or not a day, but a lesson in advance, so that when you arrive, you're not heading on the water for the first time. that could also be an option. Do I need to do all the activities? We've had that question as well, like someone might not be a massive runner, or they prefer hiking more. Is there flexibility around that? Excuse me. And there completely is. So if you didn't want to do an activity, you just have to let us know, and we can arrange something else, or you'd have free time to go on a sort of self-guided hike or walk, or if you wanted to spend more time around Skrid town or what have you, there is the option there. Typical age range, yeah, it's quite a good one. So the youngest we've had is Ben, who was 21, and Richard's mum, who I mentioned, was our oldest, and anyone everywhere in between, really. But the main kind of the main thing that links us all together is just the love of the outdoors and adventure. So it is it's an awesome way to get to know different people in different backgrounds who do different jobs and want to explore a new place like this. Yes, we can definitely accommodate for all dietary types. We touched on the kayaking, so yeah, if there's any particular activity you wanted to try and advance, we'd definitely recommend that. And also just think, if you do sign up for this and you think, yeah, let's go for it, you obviously want to arrive in good shape, you want to feel confident, and hopefully not with a throat like I've got right now. And yeah, you'll just really enjoy it. There's also, you can see a photo here on the bottom. This is one of the rock pools, which are really fun to kind of get in, swim in, and yeah, just slow down and take it all in. Our sleeping bags and equipment included. So sleeping bags you need to bring, but all other equipment to do with the kayaking, the cycling, and pack rafting and things like that is all included. Life jackets, helmets, and transport. Can I arrive before the trip begins and stay for a few days afterwards? So yeah, you can definitely, this is your trip, so you can create you can do what you like, really, but you just have to let us know and we can kind of accommodate, and yeah, we'll give you meet points and timings and things like that. And then yeah, if you want to extend the trip afterwards, you can definitely do that. So there's real flexibility there, and just kind of communicate with us and let us know what you've got in mind. Where do we fly into and the distances? Yeah, so as I mentioned, Split and Zadar are the best options. Zadar is about 45 minutes from the camp, and Split is 2 hours. So yeah, you need to have a look where you're based, where you live in the UK and things. Just see which.
Is that driving? Is it, Ed, for 45 minutes and 2 hours?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, that's driving. So that would be the transport. How many people trip? Typically 12 is a sweet spot. And yeah, by the end of it, honestly, it's these types of trips where you are out for it's 7 or 8 days is a good amount of time. You really do get to know people, and it does become a big team effort. People look after each other, and everyone kind of chips in, and you gel with the different personalities and kind of learn from different people. So it is and you also just create a lot of new friendships. The friendships that have been born from the Norway. So we hosted 2 Norway expeditions this summer, June and August, and those guys, we've been meeting up, and WhatsApp group still firing, and it's good energy. And you've obviously just had this trip together. Do I need travel insurance? Yes, so you do, and Sports Cover Direct is we'd recommend using them. It's probably £20 to £30 for a kind of week-long cover. Any other questions or anything you'd like to add to the FAQs?
Is the insurance, you have to have it?
Yes, you need travel insurance for international.
So
events.
Is it like travel insurance as in normal, or is it like sports travel insurance where in case you get injured?
Yeah, so it would be the sports travel insurance. And I can, if I make a note, actually, I can send you a few. Let me just get a pen.
Yeah, it's just because I've never been abroad, Ed, you see, so like that would be something I'd be like.
Yeah, that was well.
But this is the ideal first trip abroad for me.
Yeah, it'd be one for the books. I've made a note. I'll send you some information, and yeah, it's about £30, and it just covers you for any slips or injuries or hospital visits, and just protects you basically. So hopefully you can read this as well. But this basically shows what's included and what's not. So you may have read some of this before in some of the other communications. So yeah, the guide, the transport, the runs, all the activities, pack rafting, the kayaking, the cycling, all the routes and route preparation, the use of the excuse me, stand-up paddle boards in Zrmanja, the meals and dinners for the seven breakfasts and 7 dinners, indoor and all the accommodation, 1 night in the homestay, all the equipment for the mountain bikes and all the activities, and also the transport and the pickup and things like that, and national park entry fees, and the main things that aren't included are the flights, the travel insurance, and the alcoholic drinks and lunches, and then the sleeping bag as well, which is easy to pop in. Any questions on kind of what's included or what's not?
See, with the dinners, are they in the hotel that we're staying at for the second half of it?
It is mixed. So I think from memory, 2 will be in the hotel and 1 will be out at a restaurant for the dinners. And there's also a really good restaurant on that final day, which I think that's when I was having my coughing fit. But the final day, when where are we? Day 7. So this is a really, really awesome finale day. So this is on the Friday, so the day before we go home. It's 34k, and it's kind of split into 2 sections. So you've got the morning when we visit the monastery and things like that. We go for a swim, and then basically head back to Zrmanja, and there's which is where the hotel is based. Really, really delicious pizza restaurant that we'll go to fuel up. And then in the afternoon, you've got the kind of second half, or it's less than second half of the cycle. But again, it's a good question, and there is flexibility around meals and dinners, if or even lunches as well, depending on what the group or different people want to do. There is some flexibility there. So it's not that you have to, you're not forced to eat together all the time. But definitely for the final day, it'd be good to have a good, celebratory meal. So moving on to the pricing. So it is £1,195. And there's basically 3 options that we offer. So there's a £200 deposit, and then you can spread it over 5 monthly installments. That's to basically make it as accessible for people as possible. Or you're able to pay a 20% deposit and the balance by the 1st of March. Or some people choose to pay it in full. So whichever is best for you guys. And then the kind of book with confidence guarantee we have is there's a 14-day cooling off period. And then if Trail Pursuit have to cancel or postpone the trip due to COVID, you can be credited to a future trip or receive a full refund. yeah, with this adventure, you can obviously see the map on the right. You know, the whole point of this is to provide you guys like a safe and incredible experience, really, in Croatia. So we pieced together these activities and the routes to really show you the best of it, and to challenge you a little bit, so you do come away just inspired and revitalized. And we found that on the, well, especially where you get that sense when you travel and you try new things, but particularly for an adventure or expedition, you do come away with a real sense of achievement, because you've just, you know, you've explored and you've done a lot of good things. And yeah, a few testimonials from previous guests. So we've got Simon here, Sophia and Laura. And yeah, it's honestly really, really rewarding to hear positive feedback, and you know, just get to know these people and then become friends, and then also for them to have a really great time and say it was, you know, one of the best experiences they've ever had is makes it all worth it. And it's, yeah, I guess one of the common themes we get with our feedback and testimonials is it's the people, and people really gel. You know, and we've been lucky perhaps, but people have just been really grateful for the variety of people. And like these girls on the left, for example, they are all so Caroline, Sophia, Alice and Jane. They're all solo travelers. Actually, Alice came with Paul, so that was a couple who came, but they didn't know each other before they went, and became good pals and things like that. But yeah, meeting like-minded people is the common theme that we get back, which makes sense, which is awesome. So yeah, thank you for listening. I appreciate that was a lot of information and probably didn't help with my coughing, so I apologize for that. And we'll share this recording with you. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah,
Yes.
can I just ask? Oh,
I'll go on.
sorry,
You go
you guys.
first.
Okay. Thanks. So obviously you've got the trip in May and the trip in September. And they'll be the same trip. Is there much difference in terms of like going in May and September in terms of, I know, like weather and conditions and things like that? Or I don't really know a lot about Croatia.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. So the main reasons for avoiding the summer were just because of the heat, and also outside of like school, some holidays when it can, you know, begin to get quite busy. But the main differences or the main similarities with May and September is it's quieter, it's slightly cooler, you know, it's still really, you know, it's still sunny and warm, but it's not absolutely roasting. And yeah, it's a bit greener in May, but it's still, you know, when we did the recce, you saw some of the photos in this presentation. It's still really beautiful, especially the Kirka National Park and the waterfalls and things like that. So yeah, no major difference.
Cool, thank you.
No worries.
Flights to Croatia approximately cost.
It's a good question. So if you book well in advance, you know, it could be £100 return.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so, you know, quite
right. I'll just do some research into that then.
Yeah, quite affordable, if I'm honest. In comparison to, you know, Norway and even the cost of food and drinks and things. You know, in Norway it was about £11 a pint, whereas in Croatia it's a lot cheaper.
This is why I stopped drinking.
Yeah, that would also help, and then you save more.
It's amazing how much alcohol costs, and I mean, I have the odd drink, helps us sleep when I don't want to run.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's completely up to you guys. Let me, if I stop sharing this, there we go. Cool. Yeah, so sorry about the coughing fit. Seems to have settled now, which took a while, but we got there. Has anyone else got any questions? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are really excited because the Norway one, obviously I've just started a bit online business, so I'm financially, I've got to be savvy at the minute. So I don't want to dive into anything, but this seems much more affordable, and the fact that the weather is a bit different. I really like the way you've picked the two outside, May, September, because I don't like running in too cold and I don't like running in too hot either.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. And it's partly why we did choose Croatia, just because Norway's been a really, really big success, and it is a beautiful place. Like, honestly, I'd really recommend you go there. But I guess the main difference with the trip is that Norway is more of an expedition. So you've got your pack on your back, and it's a point-to-point trip. So you're kind of, you've got to, get to certain, you'll be hiking all day and you want to get there before 9 o'clock, so you can relax a little bit. Whereas this Croatia trip is you've still got elements of, well, you've got more activities actually, but it's not as demanding. It's more of like an adventure holiday, I'd probably call it, rather than an expedition, if that makes sense.
And that's what, because I'm fit and everything, but this would be like massively sort of like outside my comfort zone, but I will obviously be in very good time. Like I was worried about Norway. I was thinking like, oh, what if I got injured, or what if this happened? I didn't want to hold everyone back, and that giving me time till May or September next year, I could be definitely in for that 100%.
Awesome.
And I text you, I think it was Cliff-Face National Park I was interested in, but it seems to be waterfalls all over Croatia.
Yeah, it's honestly, when you get there, you'll just, it is like a hidden gem. And it's really, really beautiful. And if you like the outdoors and nature, then you're going to be impressed and enjoy it.
I am impressed. That's why I asked it to add us to the Zoom call when you mentioned Croatia. I was like, ooh.
Awesome. No, thank you for joining.
You're welcome.
Cool. And girls, do you have any questions, or what are your thoughts on, have you guys done these types of trips before?
No.
No, I haven't. I've done the trail run like a couple of years ago, like the trail pursuit.
Okay.
I found that hard, and I haven't trained. So if I went to this, it sounds really good, but I haven't cycled that sort of distance. So I'd need to do a bit of training just to feel like I can. I know you said it's suitable for beginners, but I wouldn't want to be really slow if it's like quite an advanced thing. Yeah.
No, that's fair. Yeah, and it makes sense that there's going to be an activity or a couple that you're not as competent at, or you haven't had as much experience. But if you can get some practice on a bike and arrive confident, then yeah, you're going to be ready to roll. It's also broken into, my brother he was telling me at the weekend he did a 60-mile charity mountain bike ride that was all day, and he said his bum by the end of it was just like just very uncomfortable. Whereas this is like broken into different sections. I'd say the first half is probably more demanding, but then you have breaks along the way, and then the second half, when you cycle to Kirke National Park, is it's unbelievable, and it's kind of rolling, so it's and the scenery is really, really good, so it's easier. So it's only the first couple of hours that have a few more hills in, but it is a team effort, and you can walk parts if you need to, and things like that. You're not in a race.
Yeah, I am not looking forward to any mountain biking. I might not do that part already.
I'll hang back with someone, Ed.
I was quite happy until we got to the mountain biking part, and I was like, actually, maybe I'll not go that day. That's not my forte.
Not your forte. Have you biked before, or
no? And I don't like it.
Not a fan. Okay.
That's
good.
I think I was about 10 before I learned to ride my bike, and I've not been interested really for the last 20 years. But until that point, yeah.
Yeah.
So Ed, yeah, it'll be pretty safe for someone to just hang back, wouldn't it? And just say like, oh, I don't want to do that. Am I on? Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So somebody is safe to hang back and just hang around in the village and all that. That would be more than safe doing something like that, wouldn't it?
Yeah. No, it's a very safe place. It's a beautiful place. And we can kind of coordinate because we have a support team. So, for example, well, whether it's in the first half or the second half, have a couple of options. You could either do your own thing and explore Skradin, or if you still wanted to kind of look at the monastery and on the small islet and things like that. Oh, someone's joining. Yeah, then you could be transported along with Kirka National Park, which I'd say is an absolute must, with all the waterfalls. It's a short cycle from Skradin, so you could easily get a transport and meet us there.
Yeah. On the downhill bit.
On the whizzing down the downhill.
On the downhill bit. Maybe I'll be okay with the downhill bit.
Yeah, there is a really good couple of downhill bits, and then when you actually get in the park, there's like no mountain bikes, so everyone walks and yeah, explores in that way. Little Liam Lettuce, hello, can you hear us?
You're late.
A little bit late. We've avoided the extreme cough fit, which is good, but yeah, we've basically just had a deep dive into the trip, and we're kind of onto a Q&A now. But I can definitely send you the recording. Whereabouts are you joining from? As on mute. Yeah, I think you're on mute, so I'm not sure. We can't hear you.
I think you can unmute them, you know, Ed. I think if you're the host.
I can ask to unmute. I'll ask him. But yeah, anyone else? Any thoughts on? Are you thinking May or September? Anything to do with kit lists or fitness?
Yeah, I would be thinking September because I've got an ultra run in June, which I'm already booked in for.
Okay.
And that's like my special birthday ultra run.
Yeah.
So September would be me. September.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, no, it's always interesting to see who's interested. We've got about 260 people pre-registered. Obviously it's easy for people to kind of get interest, but then they don't all sign up. So it's yeah, it seems positive. It's got a good feeling to it. And having done the recce only in early September, and kind of pieced the final few things together, I'm just confident it is an absolutely awesome trip. And it is suitable for beginners through to just people that like movement and trying new things. Like, have you guys done much yoga before or anything like that?
Yeah, I do loads.
Awesome. Cool.
I did once. I did once and I fell asleep, to be fair, so I'll probably just go mountain biking.
Did you?
Yeah, or you can jump on the bike. Yeah, no, there is a good variety, and yeah, I can assure you that you'll come away and having visited these different places, and also having downtime for yourself as well. It's not an expedition where you are bang bang, you've got to make all these cut-offs. There is some free time to take it all in and enjoy the activities as well.
What was the sky like there at night, Ed?
Well, yeah, I forgot to mention that. Unbelievable, especially in the campsite. Yeah, really dark, clear skies, amazing stars, and yeah, the promenade in Zadar as well is spectacular. The sunset there, if you research a little bit, like it's really well known, and yeah, there's the wave organs there. That's the thing when you do these Zooms, it's like there's so much information, it's hard to kind of put it all out there. But hopefully you get a glimpse of what it would be like.
Well, will you do like a follow-up Zoom or keep posting? Because I'm back on social media now, so I've started following the Trail Pursuit community on Facebook.
Okay.
And WhatsApp, Instagram, and yeah. So if you just keep on there, I suppose.
Well, I may have to do another one after the coughing episode. So
you did well to get over that.
Went on for quite a while though, didn't it? But thank you for sticking with it and not all dropping off.
It's been really good. Thank you.
I've been in a coughing fit myself, like in a presentation. So it's like really bad timing. So I felt for you.
Yeah, it was.
Oh.
It just went on and on, but
yeah.
Touch wood.
You moved rooms and it disappeared. Is that maybe what was something?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was quite hot in the other room, but this is it's a bit cooler.
That's what it would be.
But yeah,
It's just because you were put on the spot. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
I do my online classes, and whenever I try to do it online, I'm like, oh, hold on a minute. But yeah,
need to take a minute. But we got through it. Cool. So yeah, let me know if you do have any other questions, or drop us a message, and we'll share the video back with you, and then just have a think if it's a good fit. We'll go from there.
Yeah, good.
Awesome. Okay,
Sounds great. Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.